Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Okay, so welcome back. John 21, Numbers 13, hidden biblical timelines in Trollhunters. We're talking about 2014 to 2033. So we just finished the present situation. Now we're going into the future. Like I said many times, if you find yourself, if you hear truth in what I've said from 2014 to 2017, then we can assume that the future is not too far off. I mean, because we haven't lived it yet, I can't be as clear as about the past, the situation that we've lived. But we can assume that I think the broader strokes are also correct. And you know what? The good thing is that we don't have to wait long to find out. In 2018, which is very, very shortly, we will know if it's true or not. And then we will assume that 19 will be true or not. And, you know, if you have 18 and 19 and 20 that are true, then, you know, hey, you're going to know really, really soon if this is true or not. So this represents episode 5, John 21:18. And as I said before, please pause this and read this for time's sake. What I've done down here is just, I wrote a synopsis of those two lines together. Verily, verily, in the verses, verily, verily, I say unto thee, when thou wast young, thou girdest thyself and walketh whither thou wouldest. But when thou shalt be old, thou shalt stretch forth thy hands, and another shall gird thee, and carry thee whither thou wouldst not. So, it's some sort of monster. Come on, give it up, Eli. I put this one because, well, let me read this. The name of the name of this series, the name of the episode is Waka Chaka. By compulsion, you are forced into other revelations from the Holy Spirit within you. You are not serving yourself but others when you speak of things told to you by the Holy Spirit. From 2018 to 2020, persecution begins and the evil red rises. The ministers are separated out from the world. So I put this as in saying it's one of those things that we're going to be forced to do. We're going to, as we are kind of now, you know, the whole conspiracy movement, theory movement that has happened on YouTube in the past, and it still is, but it's changing. Now it's the same way in a spiritual way where we're coming out and we're saying, you know, whatever we're going to be saying, and people are going to be like, come on, you know, and we're like, we got proof, and they're like, you know, no. So that's exactly what they're talking about. The revelations that are going to be coming to us in 2018, and being having compulsion to talk about this and being forced to have to deal with these things whether we want to or not. But knowing that when we do this, we're not serving ourselves, we're serving people, and that's exactly what that's saying right here. I think it's amazing when you look back at the Bible, the hidden Bible verses, and you really open your mind to understand that Jesus, Yeshua Hamashiach, he was talking not only in parables, he was talking in multi-dimensional time. That's how dope our Savior is. Our Savior is righteous. He's speaking in multi-dimensional speak. Can you do that? Wow. Multi-dimensional speak. Timeless. He's talking to our generation at the end of the age, back then, in code. What? Oh, man, y'all trying to mess with Yahushua. Just step off. Step off. Don't come for him. You don't want none of that. Wow. Dope. My Savior is just, wow. So awesome. So this is episode 5. The beginning of it, I put this here. So this is homework. Guys, look up in the Roger Thesaurus number 5739, decode the D, decode the A, figure out what that means. I don't know if I've done 739 or not. I'll look it up. See what you come up with. Eventually, I'll do 739 if I haven't done it yet, and we'll see what it means. But it means something. I don't know what it means. Maybe you guys can figure out what it means, so I put it here. If you haven't noticed, it's already a lot, so I just decided to go with the essential. Claire's a smart girl. She'll realize he's a jerk. So this is really funny too. So Claire is representing the 144,000, but I think also this is what I'm starting to feel right now as we speak. The 1111, who is also the 144,000, but it's the ministers of the ministers. I think they woke up a little bit earlier, and the 144,000 and the 6,000 and the others, the other groups, they're waking up as well at the same time, but it's a little bit, the level of understanding is not this at the same place at this time. We're talking about 2018. So hey, Jim, who is representing really the 1111, who has already seen, understood the mysteries. Claire has not yet. Now he gave her, I think he didn't. But here she's a smart girl. She'll realize he's a jerk. So she's talking. This is hard to explain. Claire is talking with that other guy I told you who is representing wickedness in the society, the jerk guy. So that's who they're talking about. No, this time I have photographic evidence because see, Eli, all through the show, he's like the conspiracy theorist. He's one of those people who knows something is going on. He just doesn't, know the whole story. So he has the evidence here, and they were like, no, that's not evidence. I think he erased it, Toby. So wait, this is too much. You mean they can smell fear? So this is about these trolls. You have to watch the episode, y'all. But these trolls are there and they smell fear. So control your fear or you'll be dinner. I thought this was interesting. They're running from the troll because there's a Bible verse that says that the Father is not of fear either. What does it say? The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is my light and my salvation. Of whom shall I be afraid? Right, so no need to be afraid. I'm sorry to say, Master Jim, but your town is infested with goblins. So this is 2018. I'm sorry to say, guys, but it seems like our society will be infested with goblins, meaning evil spirits, right? I'm not ready for draw, bular, or finding a stupid den of goblins. So this is probably how we're going to be feeling in 2018 because that's a lot. We have to deal with all of this internet stuff that is going to be popping up more and more, the red rising. We have to deal with, getting spiritually prepared for this Armageddon. Like I can't even, like, my mind isn't wrapped around it yet either, y'all. Revelation 19, like, really, we're gonna be riding in with Yahushua to fight the powers of darkness in the apocalypse? I mean, like, what? Yeah, that's a lot to deal with, and you need to be spiritually prepared for that. And then we got to fight like these evil spirits that are going to be invading our society, kind of like exactly like the Ghostbusters movie. Exactly like that. Yeah. Okay. And you see him and he's like, I'm not ready for none of that. And I feel you 100%. I'm just starting to get a grasp on what I'm telling you now. My mouth words are just now, I'm understanding them the same time you're hearing them. So yeah, not ready. Stammering. Her face is so ugly. So this is when they see for the first time, they learn about changelings. So changelings are demons in human bodies, pretty much. So those are going to be revealed in 2018. I mean, not that we don't know already, but apparently more so. Okay, so she's not your type. You don't have to be rude about it. And so this is her. She was human, and then she reveals her true form. And he says, arrogance gets you killed. And I just took that picture because I felt like that probably is important. So here they're walking among us, Toby. So they're just now figuring out that, the demons, the evil, wicked spirits are here, and we'll probably have to be dealing with that in 2018. They will be showing their faces. They can be anyone. This is a total game changer. And again, it's dispatch. We have the teens that match the description of the museum break-in, and then they go to jail. So this, let's go back. So you are subjected to harm, mischief, or hurt right here. This probably has to do with, when you're, I don't know, we're probably exactly what this picture is showing right here. Probably. Guys, this is the future, so I can't really say what it's going to be. I can just show you what is written here. And I can show you that it matches what they're talking about in this TV show. And I can tell you that it matches what the Bible verse is talking about. We're going to have other revelations that seems to have something to do with the evil spirits really manifesting in our society. So more and more to where we can really see them, or we can in some way prove or have more tangible evidence or understanding that this is a real infestation of evil in our society. And we are going to be forced to have to talk about these things, whether we want to or not. And it's the beginning of persecution. That's what this TV show is saying. That's what the letter lines is saying. And that's what the Bible verse is saying. We will see in 2018, huh? Don't shoot the messenger. Okay, so episode 6, 2019, John 21:19. Here is the letter line. Please pause and read it for yourself. Let's move on. And like I said, this is on my website. So just go to Wakefulness Theology. You click and you can click on all the lines, and it will open up big if you have trouble, if you can't see it well. And you guys can take your time and chew on this stuff, because I know it's not easy. Huh? But if I know it's true, but I'll just be polite and say, if it is true, this will be what we're about to live through. So I hope you do take the time to look through it, So 19, this spake he, signifying by what death he should glorify God. And when he had spoken this, he saith unto him, follow me. So in the TV show, this is the episode, it's called Win, Lose, or Draw. And of course, the expression is win, lose, or draw, D-R-A-W, but they put draw because that's his name. And it says, you cannot be the troll hunter, you're a boy. So this is what we're going to be going through in 2019. They're going to be saying, you are not a troll hunter, meaning we said that in the TV show, the word troll hunter really represents 144,000, 1111, Melchizedek, the priesthood, disciples, woman of revelation, 12, spiritual Israel, the 12, whatever, you guys get it. So you cannot be the troll hunter. You're a girl, you're white, you're black, you're whatever it is going to happen. You cannot be a troll hunter because fill in the blank. That's what you're going to hear. Or you cannot be 144,000 because fill in the blank. So when you hear that, you should say thank you, because that is exactly what was foretold would happen. You wander and wash away negativity and get renewal in life. It is the separation of fleshly beings and those people who will go where the spirit of life dwells. Now this is what is written here. And the reason, and then I wrote here, a group of brothers and sisters represented by draw return home to heaven because God's going to trouble the water, and to remind you that it's the Hebrew year April to April, because that could be April 2020, and in Hebrew year it would still be 2019. So the reason I'm saying that is because of what we talked about in the other videos with the other people's dreams, with Brother Rob's dream, with the sister from South Africa's dream, from my dream, a lot of people had similar dreams, and we talked about all of those. So the conclusion that I come up with from this, all of this, putting everything together, is that a group of us are going to be going home in that year 2019, Hebrew year 2019. And that's when I was saying the sister that I talked about earlier, she said she's going to prophesize up until April, I think 9th or 6th, 2019. And that's why I think that she's been told to do that in that time frame. From 2019 on, everything changes. Everything changes. It's on like a marathon. And this group of people right here just can't understand what's happening. So this is episode 6, and you see they're going through persecution because they've done nothing wrong. Actually, they're heroes. They're doing what they're supposed to do, but they're, just like real life, they're being punished. No good deed goes unpunished, right? Okay, come on, no, stop it. So here, these are numbers. I have not broken down these numbers, but you guys play around with the Roger, see what you see. Play around with the letter lines. I don't have a lot of them up yet, but the ones I do have, see if you find something in there. In the meantime, so what is it, changeling? Changeling, I told you that was humans, but they're demons on the inside. They were switched, and so they're not really human. They're demons, and they're called impure. They're called changelings. So this is, I guess, representing people in the world who are demon possessed people. But this word is a bad word in troll market. Like if you say it, people are going to panic. So these are serious accusations, Master Jim. Without proof, absolute bedlam will ensue. Now, this Trollville, we talked about it representing the place where the woman of Revelation 12 is rescued. Revelation 12. But before that, I'm going to show you that at the end of this series. But before that, they enter Trollville or Troll Market, and what I think it represents, in my opinion, you guys pray on this, but what I think it represents is this. You see the tree of life pendant I have, the stone that I've gotten. I told you that since I've been doing this ministry and now I've gotten my stone, I feel like I can close my eyes and go to and sit under the tree of life and be at peace. I can go and commune with Yeshua Hamashiach and have conversation with him and commune with him. It's only in my mind, of course. My spiritual body might be going there. I don't know how that works, but it works. Okay. And I just told you in the last video about the dreams how this is a power that we will develop as we come together and we get stronger. We will be able to transport ourselves spiritually to a place, a meeting place. Okay, that is, I don't know, that is just what it is. So that's what I think this place represents before the rescue. This place is a place of peace where we are able to go spiritually to be protected and to be at peace. That's how I see that. So that's where he is. But in this place, we don't want to talk about demons, right? That will cause bedham. That will cause panic. I will show you no mercy when I take back what's rightfully mine. So that's draw here. because he's mad at him because he's the troll hunter when it should have been his, which, like I said, I really see that a lot of people who expect that they are the chosen ones, and when they see people being chosen who they, in their opinion, don't deserve it, or shouldn't be chosen, I'm sure that's not very pleasant. So Claire, I don't know how to tell you this, but let me try. He's writing a letter to all of his friends and family because he feels like he could die. That's what the other verse said. Jesus did not promise, Yahushua did not promise that we would not die in this process. So there you go. But this writing of a letter, this is very important because it's going to come up later that we are supposed to write. We are supposed to write. We are supposed to write. So here we have, he's reading in this book about the bridge and everything. So the ephod is translating this information for him in the book. That is what I'm telling you guys. We gain knowledge, okay? The spiritual language is being translated for us at this time, okay? Draw the destroyer, come forth. So this is when he's about to fight Draw, representing the first group of people. It's time to put everything I've ever said to you in practice. There you go. Boom. That word in one sentence. That's what 2019 is. It is time that everything we have learned up until that point, we will have to put it into practice in 2019. You heard it here first, folks. And now, Draw's combatant, James Lake Jr. We talked about the meaning of his name. We broke all of that down. Found what? His weakness. So he found a weakness. He found Draw's blind spot. You cannot be the troll hunter. You're a boy. And then the amulet chose me. And it's so funny because I know people, when I talk about this stuff to people, the first thing they look at me and they're like, is she crazy? And then they're like, oh, she's crazy. That's the first part. And then if they get past the me thinking I'm crazy part, then they can go through, I don't know, but it's a whole process that people go through in their mind when I talk to them about this kind of stuff. And I know that the last point of all of that would be, well, it can't be you. You can't be, you can't be the troll hunter. You're just fill in the blank. And then in 2019, we're finally going to have the stones, literally the stones, the guts to stand up and say, you know what? He chose me. The amulet chose me. It's 2019. And so in the cartoon, he dies. This scene that you're seeing, if it was real life, he's dead. And this is a river. Of course, it's lava, but we've talked about the river from the dreams, okay? In the cartoon, Jim saves him, but that's because it's a cartoon. In actuality, this is where he perishes. This is a time to work together. They're building the Killerhead Bridge. So this is very important as well. This is what we will be declaring in 2019. We will be trying to bring the tribes together, and we're going to be telling them that this bridge that I told you is represented by CERN, is represented by the Oculus technology, and is represented by the Arch of Palmyra. And we'll be warning people about that. And then our spirit guides here are saying, shh, don't say anything else. That's enough. Don't say more. We have to go because they're not going to like what we have to say. And you have a right to listen. Ours is an ancient race. It will take time to win hearts and minds. So 2019, we're going to be on. We're going to be ready to practice everything we have. Something is going to happen, some kind of thing where people go, and we're going to be standing up and telling our truth, but it might be a little bit too early because we have to win over the hearts and the minds of the people first before we just, blah. There you go. So you'd better leave now or else we'll be sorry. So this is where the changeling comes to his house, and his mother doesn't know anything. She's the representing the 6,000 that we talked about, so she's still clueless as to this world. And that's what I love about the cartoon too. They're very good at showing the spiritual world and then the real world, and how people are oblivious to what's actually happening in the spiritual world. That's exactly the real thing. When I'm living life and what I'm seeing going on is a whole different play than what other people are seeing, and it's just represented in this cartoon perfectly. So he's real bold at this point. So when you see a demon possessed person, you're not afraid or anything. You're just like, look, I rebuke you in Yeshua Hamashiach's holy name, and I bind you and cast you out into the darkness, to the outer darkness, right? So there is no more messing around in 2019. Jim, she's our guest. What's gotten into you? So his mom passed out. Maybe you'll make a good troll hunter after all. So in the cartoon, he doesn't pass away. And they become friends, and he tries to help him, and so he helps to train him. So that's episode 7. So all of that in 2019 from the cartoon. That's exactly what it's saying here when it's explaining the negative feelings and the difficult times and the notions and opinions and all of this stuff. And then here you have the water. We're talking about the liquids. We're talking about here again, water. And then the way that the death is to glorify God. And then the separation of the fleshly beings and the people who go to the spirit. So that all of that, I don't know. I'm trying, in my mind, it makes sense. In my mind, everything is coming together. I don't know if that's happening for you. I hope so. I'm doing my best. But just here, it's just like the dream from the sister in South Africa and Brother Rob and all the other dreams. When they're going through the water, the river, the group goes to heaven, and then the other group comes on the grass with the 11 that are already on the grass. So that's what they're talking about, a separation of the people from the spirit and the ones that stay. And also in the other way, we're separated out from society more and more. Like by 2019, it's going to be a stark contrast from us, the people who are the ministers, and the rest of the society. It's just going to be like black and white, night and day separation. The sheep from the goats, the wheat from the chaff. Okay, so 2020, episode 7, John 21:20. Again, pause this and read it for yourself. All right. Then Peter, turning about, seeth the disciple whom Jesus loved following, which also leaned on his breast at supper, and said, Lord, which is he that betrayeth thee? So the episode is called To Catch a Changeling, and we talked about those being the demon-filled people. You are hated and persecuted like Job of the Bible, because you communicate as it is written. You preserve and keep faith in all trials. There is a great disturbance of the evil red rising, the saints going up to the rooftops, and an evil structure being built. So this, I pray that someone look at this stuff. Look at what I'm presenting to you, please. Somebody, please, okay? In the cartoon, tell me who else knows about the bridge. The bridge, they are building a bridge. Here, an evil structure is being built. It's right here in the letter lines. The reason I saw this timeline and the reason that I saw this in the cartoon is because of the Most High holy living letters. And the formula he gave me is the letter line so that I can read a complete sentence, which tells us all the secret information. And that's how I understood the language. It's right here. An evil spirit, demon, demonic being is building a structure. And I put the OneWeb or the global brain, etc. It's right here, building a structure, an evil spirit demon. Right here, an evil spirit demon. Who else knows about the bridge? In the same, y'all, when I'm counting, I'm just counting in chronological order. I'm not skipping or nothing, and it's falling exactly saying the same thing. Like I said, y'all might not feel me the same way because, like I said, I have not given you the formula yet. I will be revealing the formula as soon as the Holy Spirit tells me to, and I feel it's coming really, really soon. But it is a sacred spiritual responsibility, and it is heavy and it is important, and I can't just throw it out there like that. But it is coming, and when you have this formula and you're able yourself to do the same work that I've already done and see how it falls year by year like this, and it matches up with the Bible, and it matches up with like prophecy, like every friggin' dream, every prophetic cartoon, TV song, whatever, everything. It's amazing. All right, so this is episode 7. You have to expect the unexpected and learn to embody the armor. So we're still being trained. This is episode 7. What year is it? 2020. So we're still in training. For you to invoke that danger without just cause. So this is important because in the cartoon, Jim is trying to tell this guy is the leader, which we said again, just forget the Baphomet head. We know in real life it's not. But he's trying to tell the leader that there's the danger of the bridge, and he doesn't believe them. You've never met a conspiracy theory you didn't like. So it's, I don't know if I need to even explain that. They're just going to still be thinking that we're talking about conspiracy theories. They won't believe us. Everyone in troll market thinks you're paranoid. Yeah, this is true. I know this is true. I know this is true because I've already been living it, and I know how intense I am right now, and I can only imagine how much more intense I will become. And until the people see it for themselves, until something actually does blow up or whatever is actually going to happen, until there's proof until something manifests in the physical world, people aren't going to get it. And then because we're the 1111, we're ahead of time, so we can see this coming ahead of time. So we seem crazy, and at this time, 2019, I'm sure 2020, I'm going to be real hype because everything I'm telling you now is going to have happened, and I'm just going to be really like on 100, and people are going to be like, girl, you cray cray. Why you are desperate to see danger where none exists? Absolutely. And I bet it'll be almost line by line, because a lot of these lines are exactly what people will be saying. Exactly. So she's tired of you never showing up, so she made Steve Romeo. So again, I told you the Romeo and Juliet is symbolic of the wedding. Miss Janet is on a war path for you. I'd watch out. So this is funny right here, where exactly they're talking about in 2020 that we're hated and persecuted. That's exactly what is happening right here. So he goes to math class and the teacher is just yelling at him, X doesn't show up, X lets the equation down. So pretty much then the entire equation falls apart. So this is real simple. They mad at us. Already they're mad at us because they hate us because we are their downfall. We are spiritual humans. The Father has put us here as their downfall. We are his weapons. We are the 1111, the Order of Melchizedek. The priesthood. We embody Yahushua, Hamashiach here on earth. We are the light to the nations. I don't know how else to explain that. So they don't like that because, they're darkness and you don't want light when you're dark, okay? Obviously. Here, they're really mad at us because they're trying to establish a new world and we keep messing that up because we're not falling in line. So their play is the new world and we do not fit into that equation and therefore it is falling apart, their plans, okay? That it says it is right there, explaining it right there. The play is the new world they are trying to build, which will not and cannot include us. And as long as we're here, it's not going to work. Their plans are not going to work. So we are definitely a monkey wrench in their whole operation. And we will feel their wrath from that. That's where the persecution comes from. So that would mean more changelings, scavenging, assembling, and disassembling. So again, we're going to have even more demonic possessions, and they're going to be working tirelessly to build those bridges, or that bridge, the bridge. So it is likely these troll pretenders have dwelt amongst you for decades. So again, it's going to be some kind of coming out of what was hidden before. They could be anyone, used car salesmen, tax collectors, television executives. This part I think of a lot like the Matrix, again with Mr. Smith, how he can just appear in anyone at any time. It's like the demonic possession in this way because these people are brainwashed. Our society, the majority of people in our society are under hypnosis. They're sleeping. And because they're under hypnosis and sleeping, the demons can just take them over anytime they want. They could be anybody. Anyone who is not saved by the blood of the Lamb can be used in this way. Such is the danger of carrying the world on one's shoulder. So he shows up as one of the, well, he's already been there, but this is when the truth is coming out and everybody's finding out who's who. So we expose the definite changeling in our midst. So they're trying to expose the demons that are hiding in human bodies. I hit you up with a potent paralyzer, so he accidentally found one here. Now this, I had to do something to keep those chubby little legs from running away. So he was getting his teeth fixed and she gave him something. But then I realized you've got a lot more going on than people think. So he wrote her a letter, and that's why I was saying it's important for us to write. We have to write, guys. All of this work that you're doing, all that the Holy Spirit is telling you, all of your dreams, all of this stuff, you have to write it down. Write it down, please. Thus saith the Lord. Write it down. Okay. But then I realized this is her starting to wake up because he wrote it down and gave her the letter. You can't just write a letter like this and not expect a conversation. So I think what's funny about this too with the 2020 is that I think it's going to be a lot of our work that we're doing now that we're writing is going to start to come out publicly from this time. The 2020 until the 2025, 2026 is really going to start to be public. Whether it's from YouTube or you guys publish books or whatever, however that's going to happen. Tell me who else knows about the bridge. We talked about that already. So this I just thought it was astounding. He's in there. This woman is, I guess, persecuting him. And they come down to save him from the rooftop. The rooftop right here. The roof. Now, I mean, I guess people can say that's just a coincidence, but I don't see how it's a coincidence that they never talked about it before, them being on the rooftop, not in this way in the show. So this is the first time that I can think of that has appeared in this way. They come down from the roof. Amazing. Here, when it's talking about the United Nations and everything, this is for me the beast system. Okay, this is the New World Order beast system, the redness that we're fighting. And I can't talk about it really right now, but I think in the next videos we're going to talk more about Mark Zuckerberg and that whole situation. And right now we're talking about, if you're looking at Revelation 19 and you're talking about the army of Yahushua, this is what we're talking about, his army, us, the 4 groups. But in the next videos we're going to talk about the army of the devil, Satan, which is the next verses that follow. Because we have this idea like it's one antichrist or something. It's not one antichrist. It's groups of people, just like we're groups of people. And we need to identify who everyone is, on our side and on their side. So there you go. So episode 8, John 21, for 2021, John 21:21. Again, pause this, please, read it for yourself. If you can't see it, if it's too small, go to the website, click on it, and you can see the big version. Peter, seeing him, saith to Jesus, Lord, and what shall this man do? So just quickly to go back, to make this clear, when it's talking about he that betrayeth thee, we're talking about the demonic building, right? The demonic spirit that's building this building. So in 2021, Adventures in Troll Sitting. Okay, so seeing Peter, seeth him, what shall this man do? So we're talking about the evil being that is making this evil structure. And then here in 2021, which again is April to April, we're talking about the Persian king. And I told you guys before, I think I had another letter line that says he appears in 2020. So it also falls here. And that's who Jesus, Yahushua Hamashiach, is talking about here in this verse, okay? So the episode is called Adventures in Troll Hunting. The elect are re-crucified, meaning total sacrifice of yourself for the benefit of others. The society is filled with those who live like animals and are wicked. You are unwilling to be handed over to the Prince of Persia. So Prince of Persia is the unfavorable ruler of God's people, and he is represented by not Enrique in the TV show, and as well if Mark Zuckerberg, and I'm not saying that he will be, I'm saying if he runs and he does win the presidency, this is him. It is absolutely him. And I'll explain in another video about all of that. So in the TV show, this is a good test for our troll hunter. Jim must learn to stand on his own. So this is when Enrique shows up and he appears here. So it's a goblin with a baby. Come on, Jim, it's just a bird. So this is showing how the goblins, which are the demonic beings, take over a human body. I won't have time to deal with that in this video, but I had the dream in the last video. I was talking about the tattoo, and in the last video I didn't explain it well because God brought it to my understanding at the end of the video after I had already recorded. And now I can't talk about it because you see this is already packed. But in the next video I will be talking about this tattoo because that represents Enrique, the actual baby who is stolen. Right here, you can't see it very well. That's represents that. So anyway, we'll talk about that later. So everybody gets angry. Is that why you're a pacifist? Now, this character right here, we said represents the leaves. And so there you go. Let's move on. So here you have the horseshoe. Now the horseshoe is iron, okay? And when a changeling, is a demon-filled person, touches this iron horseshoe, it reveals their true nature. So iron is very important. I think I looked it up, and here I put the meaning of iron and what that means. And you have to remember that in the verses it's talking about the rod of iron that Yahushua has, and I guess as well that we will have as well. So this is probably one of the uses of that. That's a spiritual weapon, a spiritual tool. that we will have probably. Oh no, that's not Enrique. So that's when they find out. That's when the Prince of Persia arrives. It's right here. Look, guys. Oh no, that's not Enrique. So that's when he is revealed. That's when the king of Persia is revealed. Right here. It's right here in the letter line. It's right here in the TV show. It's right here in the Bible verse. It's right here. I'm not making this up. It's right. It's written here. Do you see this? So there you go. That's the end of the second list. I'll be back.